Have you ever noticed something strange? The people with the biggest dreams often struggle the most to start. They talk about writing a book, building a business, changing their life. But when the moment comes to begin, they freeze. Not because they're lazy, but because their mind quietly whispers one dangerous lie. Start when you're ready. A few years ago, I used to visit the same coffee shop every Saturday morning. There was always this guy sitting near the window, laptop open, notebook beside him, coffee slowly getting cold. He looked the part. One day I sat close enough to notice what he was doing. He wasn't actually working. He was researching, watching productivity videos, reading articles about starting a business, scrolling through advice about success. 3 hours passed. He never wrote a single word. Eventually, he closed the laptop, sighed, and left. The next Saturday, same thing. Laptop open, coffee cooling, dreams still waiting. And that's when I realized something important. Most ambitious people are not lazy. They're overwhelmed. Their dreams feel so big, their brain doesn't know where to begin. So instead of starting small, they don't start at all. Psychologists call this task avoidance, or worse, analysis paralysis. When a goal feels huge, the brain tries to protect itself from stress or failure, so it escapes to something easier. Scrolling, planning, researching. Anything except starting. And slowly, ambition turns into quiet frustration. But there's a simple way to break this cycle. Actually, 3 simple rules. Let's go back to the guy in the coffee shop. Imagine if instead of trying to build an entire business, he had one rule. Just write one sentence. That's it. Not a business plan, not a pitch deck. One sentence. It sounds almost ridiculous, but this tiny shift changes everything. Because the biggest barrier to progress isn't the work itself. It's the friction of starting. When a goal feels massive, your brain sees it as pressure, so it delays. But when the task becomes tiny, the resistance disappears. Want to read more? Don't read a chapter. Read 1 page. Want to exercise? Don't plan a full workout. Do 5 push-ups. Want to write a book? Write 1 sentence. That tiny action tells your brain something powerful. This is manageable. And once you begin, momentum starts to build. You write 1 sentence, then another, maybe a paragraph. Before long, you've done more than you planned. In fact, there's a simple trick many productive people use. The 2-minute rule. When you feel resistance, promise yourself you'll work for just 2 minutes. Just 2. Anyone can handle 2 minutes. And once you begin, continuing becomes much easier. Starting breaks the barrier. Momentum does the rest. Success rarely begins with giant leaps. It begins with embarrassingly small steps. Here's another hidden trap that stops ambitious people. Too many decisions. Every day they ask themselves, should I work out today? Should I write today? Should I start that project now? And every decision drains mental energy. Eventually, the easiest answer wins. Maybe tomorrow. Highly productive people solve this differently. They remove the decision entirely. Instead of relying on motivation, they rely on routines. For example, if you want to exercise in the morning, don't decide in the morning. Decide the night before. Lay out your shoes. Place your workout clothes on the chair. Now when you wake up, the path is already prepared. No debate, no hesitation, just action. Want to read more? Leave a book on your pillow. Want to write every day? Open the document before you go to bed. Small environmental changes remove huge mental friction. Think of it like setting up dominoes. Once the first one falls, the rest follow naturally. When your routine is simple and predictable, progress becomes almost automatic. Now we arrive at the rule most people underestimate: consistency. Everyone loves dramatic breakthroughs, but real change is usually quiet, almost invisible. Think about planting a seed. For weeks, nothing seems to happen. No branches, no shade, no towering tree. But underground, something powerful is forming. Roots. And once those roots are strong, growth becomes unstoppable. Your habits work the same way. One day of writing won't change your life, but writing every day for a year might. One workout won't transform your body, but hundreds will. Author James Clear once said that habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Small actions repeated daily multiply over time. That's why consistency beats intensity, every single time. Consistency is not about being perfect. It's about not breaking the chain. Showing up on the bad days is more important than crushing it on the good days. There's a quiet truth most people never realize. The life you want isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in the quiet minutes nobody sees. The page you write when you feel uninspired. The workout you do when motivation disappears. The tiny step you take when your mind whispers, "Not today." These small decisions seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they quietly reshape who you become. As we learned earlier, identity isn't formed by what you dream about. It's built by what you repeat. Every small step is a vote for the person you want to become. And one day, almost without noticing, you'll look back and realize something incredible. Those tiny steps didn't just move you forward. They changed you. So let's go back to the guy in the coffee shop. He had something powerful: ambition. But ambition alone isn't enough. Ambition without action becomes regret. Dreams without movement become frustration. The good news? You don't need massive discipline to change your life. You just need tiny progress, ridiculously small steps, simple routines, and quiet consistency. One page, one push-up, one sentence. Feed that spark every day, and slowly, quietly, it grows into something powerful. So here's the real question. What tiny step will you take today? Because your future isn't built by giant moments. It's built by small actions, repeated long enough to change your life. Start small. Start today. And keep going. Your dreams are waiting.